Okay guys, we're going to look at the skull from a mid-sagittal view. So from this perspective in this skull, you can see the nasal septum in full view here. So here's our perpendicular plate, which again is part of the ethmoid bone, and the vomer bone, which forms the inferior-most part of the nasal septum on the inferior perspective. Now keep in mind, hard palate is there as well. So this portion, along with the upper teeth, is part of the maxilla and palatine bone here. Sphenoid bone is right along the midline, so that's what you're seeing bisected here. Also from this perspective, you can see the beginning of the sinuses. Now you have 5 total sinuses. This is the frontal sinus because it's located inside of the frontal bone. We see a little bit of the nasal bone peeking out here. And this is our crista galli, which is part of the ethmoid bone as well. And remember, it sits on the cribriform plate. So from this perspective, we see 3 bone markings or features of the ethmoid bone: crista galli, cribriform plate, and perpendicular plate. So now this skull is a little bit special. So our nasal septum, we can take it and flip it over so we can see what's going on inside the nasal cavity. So from this perspective, we've removed the nasal septum. We can see all 3 nasal concha. Inferior nasal concha, which is its own bone, and the middle and superior nasal concha, which are part or bone markings of the ethmoid bone. So inferior, its own bone, middle, and superior nasal concha, which are part of the ethmoid. Again, this is the sphenoid bone. Here's our sphenoidal sinus, just a little cavity within the bone. Now the sinuses are important because they lighten the weight of our skull, and they also give our voice some resonance when we talk. Now with this skull, we can see frontal and sphenoidal sinuses. If we remove the nasal concha, we can then see our maxillary sinuses. So this is the opening within the maxilla, and our ethmoidal sinuses here. So just little cavities in the bone that help make us a little bit lighter and give our voice some resonance.